It's your boy Ty, co-creator of #ItIsWritten.
And it's your boy Ken. What's up, folks?
Shout out to the wives.
Yeah. Shout out.
Supporting us. My wife this morning got up. She cleaned a little bit. She said, all right, I'm going to take something. I'm out of here. That's gold standard.
That's love, bro.
Fellas, if you ain't got a wife like that, what's going on?
What
you
you
start
doing?
getting on your hands and
I'm going to say
pray.
what you doing, because it ain't her. It's you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let's get into it. Hey, man, we went to go see the Book of Clarence, bro.
Man,
the
brother.
Book of Clarence.
Woo, that was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. The Book of Clarence. So, y'all know Lakeith Stanfield. You know, he's like the leading role star actor in this film. Jeymes Samuel. If you don't know Jeymes, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It might be Jeymes, but Jeymes Samuel. He did The Harder They Fall on Netflix.
Okay.
Fire.
That was a fire movie, bro.
If you haven't seen The Harder They Fall, you are missing out. Okay?
You in last place, fam.
Right. He rolls it back. Oh, he did the Jay-Z documentary too. Okay. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You need to see that one. Just as good as The Harder They Fall, but it's a documentary.
Did he do Genius? Kanye West?
I don't know.
Documentary? No,
I don't know. We got to look that up.
Genius was fire.
So you talking about the one on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. You in last place. You got to come on with it, bro. You told me. I'm going to get on
with it.
The big controversy around it was if it's a mockery of Jesus. So we're a Christian channel. So we thought, you know what, if it's a mockery of Jesus or if that's the controversy, we got to get in it. Let me ask you something, man. What was your expectations for the Book of Clarence? Before we seen it, before we dive into it, what did you expect from it?
I mean, just based off of the trailers, I really thought it was going to be some blasphemous, you know, some like almost borderline satanic, you know what I'm saying? Like just something, you know, with that is in line with the current culture today that tends to like want to mock or discredit like the validity of Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior.
Because I feel like even that is a trend now.
It's catchy.
It's very catchy to start mocking Jesus Christ and Christianity, a religion that's been around for 2,000 plus years.
It's the shock value that it adds. You know, I'm gonna use somebody for an example. Lil Nas X, bro. He's going through his video on that. Christian era is what they calling it now. And my wife, she put me on game the other day. She was like, era is like a new terminology. It's like a new slang. And I'm like, what do you mean era? Like people are going through these eras now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so like I feel like some people,
it's the new, like, it's my certain phase.
Yeah, it's like goth, you know, like how it was for
my emo phase, my goth
emo.
Did you have one of those growing up?
Never, bro. Come on, man. No, I'm real black, bro. Like I didn't go through the Lil Wayne skateboard phase. I ain't do the
hey man, that Lil Wayne skateboard phase was fire.
I didn't do the Jinko jeans.
Oh, come on. I mean, I didn't go crazy. I didn't do like super skinny jeans, but the Vans,
bro. I mean, Vans.
Listen, bro. I grew up in a time where like the Jerk, the Reject, Cat Daddy, you know, all that was going on. So yeah, we had the plaid shorts
for sure.
Yeah, we did all that. But
I did the Vans a little bit.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider that like
I gotta see that
like a phase. You know, I thought it was just fashion.
Yeah, everybody was doing it.
Yeah, that's good.
Distinguishing the phase and fashion, what was actually in style at that time.
Everybody was doing it, bro.
Let's get back to the book. Yes, sir. As we get into it. So you thought it was gonna be like really mocking Christ.
Yeah, man. I thought it was gonna be like kind of like borderline, like, oof, man, I'm gonna have to pray and, you know, like wash myself in oil when I get home type of thing. But it wasn't like that, bro.
It wasn't like that at all.
Nah,
let's give it some good first, because there are some things that we do disagree about with the movie.
For sure.
And then we'll do good, and then we'll come back and we do the bad.
All right.
Sound good?
Let's do that.
Good? Okay, so let's talk about just the cinematography overall, bro. What did you think?
I give it a Keith Lee 10 out of 10, bro.
Fire.
It was fire. The cinematography, and I'm a visual person. I mean, most guys are visual. Yeah. And that immediately, man, the visuals, like the angles, the scenes. I was wondering, like, man, is this CGI? Like, what is this? Like, are they really in this mountainous?
Yeah. So you actually said that while we was in the movies. Yeah. Is the setting for real, or are they in the studio? And right. But if it was CGI, it's some of the best CGI I've seen. That green screen was phenomenal. If that's what it was. Because you felt like you were in the Mediterranean, like you felt like you were in the East, the Middle East
countryside
of our world, and it looked amazing. It was phenomenal. It looked like vineyards and olive farms,
Stone, and it was amazing, bro.
Great setting. I thought what was really unique, I'm about to nerd out a little bit, was just when it comes to like the dialogue that the characters were having, or just like the inner thoughts or monologues. Jeymes Samuel did a great job with, and I don't know if this was him, so I don't want to give wrong credit, but did a great job of making the camera angle portray exactly what they're trying to get across, right? And so there was a couple scenes where like people were having dialogue, and the way the camera revolved around those people were just like, man, it felt like a really good dialogue.
The cinematography is more than just the common two people talking. Like it's the unsaid, the unspokens. It's the what are you implying as a cinematographer and a person that's capturing the moment. So shout out to Jeymes and his team. That was pretty dope, man. That was probably my favorite part of the overall experience.
Yeah. Another good part for me was the musical score of the film. It was
like
they had people like Lil Wayne on the tracks. Yeah. They had Georgia Smith. I don't know if you know Georgia Smith. If you don't,
I don't.
Lost and Found is a great album. It was her
Georgia Smith or
Georgia? Georja.
You're going to have to put that in the...
Georgia
spell
Smith.
that out.
I'm going to send that to you. Lost and Found. A great EP for her. Okay. For sure. Georgia Smith, Kodak Black.
Oh yeah,
it's Kodak.
Yeah.
He's grown on me, bro. Man. Like for real, bro. Kodak is nice.
Sidebar, bro. Kodak was 14 years old rapping like J. Cole, bro. Real talk. It's a video. I'm gonna have to show it to you.
You're gonna have to show it
to your face.
You
went up on game, bro.
Jermaine.
My boy was rapping. He not. I wouldn't say rapping. I would say like the style.
Are you aware?
He was rapping over jazz beat, bro.
Bro, Jermaine, that's big, bro.
He was rapping over a jazz beat, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
At 14.
At 14, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Doja Cat was in it. D'Angelo. I know you know D'Angelo.
Oh yeah, come on, bro. How does it feel?
Valentine's
traumatized as a kid.
Traumatized. You good.
D'Angelo.
Bro. There's a couple parts that did require CGI. Stuff like when Jesus made an appearance into the film, he stopped. So there's a part in the book of Matthew where this woman is being stoned, right? And they were getting ready to stone this person, and Jesus says, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." So they reenact that in the actual scene, right?
Right.
But there's some like CGI, the Matrix, Neo type deal when Jesus comes and he stops the stones midway, right? Yeah. And they all fall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was well done and well placed.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? Considering that they're trying to get across like this miracle, like Jesus is a miracle worker.
Yeah.
And so I thought they did a really good job with that, bro.
It was a little bit of all the elements for everybody in that movie, bro. If you're an action film, if you're a comedy, if you were kind of a bit of a history, it was a little bit of history in there. I mean, it was a lot, bro. If it was a meal, it was a well-rounded, bento box type of situation, bro.
What about the acting? Tell me about the acting. Did you like the acting?
I did, bro, because I am a fan of Lakeith Stanfield and his work. Judas and the Black Messiah. Get Out was the first movie that I seen him in.
Oh man, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, so he's one of those, newer. I mean, he's not new now, but he was, to me, still up and coming.
Yeah,
still stamping and solidifying himself in the acting atmosphere. Tiana Taylor, of course, everybody loved Tiana Taylor, bro. Yeah. My boy, man, I gotta get these names.
Sidebar conversation real quick. Did you listen to her new album? It's called The Album.
I didn't, bro.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I only know Tiana Taylor for acting.
Okay.
Like what was that? Byron.
Okay. Yeah, you're missing out, bro.
Lotto Ticket. That wasn't Lotto Ticket, was it?
I don't know what it was with Bow Wow.
With Bow Wow.
Lottery Ticket. Probably called Lottery
Ticket. One of them Madea
movies.
Bro,
but you're missing out. As an artist, she's phenomenal.
Is she, bro?
Phenomenal,
okay.
bro.
I'm sleepy.
I gotta put you on game.
You gotta put me on game, bro.
I'm gonna put you on game.
I'm a bit of a old fart with music.
Okay.
I kind of stick to my gun, bro.
I got you.
Yeah.
You partner with the right one.
Okay.
But
for sure.
Okay, so Tiana Taylor, she's in the movie. Taylor, she does a good job.
Yes, sir. Lakeith Stanfield, Alfred Woodard, but the OG, bro. Alfred Woodard.
She didn't look old either.
No, she that is Black Don't Crack.
Black Don't Crack. Facts.
She played
the role of Jesus' mother, Mary. Okay, and they a funny take.
Yeah.
Funny take.
What's the youngster name, bro? Clarence's sidekick.
Man,
that's my dude, bro.
I'll look at you in the face, man. I'm so sorry I don't know your name, but you do a phenomenal job.
That's my dude, bro.
You did great in The Harder They Fall.
He does.
He kind of gives a good like comedic relief.
Oh, he does, bro. Very.
He does a good job. And his just whole overall arc of like being the funny guy, and then Jesus. So he was a part of the woman being stoned scene, and, you know. And so y'all, if you didn't know, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. But he was a part of that, and he turned into like a serious role, like his arc of like he has faith in Jesus. Right, you know, after being the funny dude,
he did a lot of you know, I like that his range in the movie, and the production was pretty on display.
I agree,
it was, bro.
I agree.
So overall, bro, casting wise, bro, it was a great a feast in terms of like, you know, just the range in characters and the range in like people's experience. Alfred Woodard on down to, you know, Lakeith Stanfield,
even the Roman guards. That Roman guard, dude, his name is Jeymes. He played in Wanted. That guy, the protagonist in Wanted. He was Jeymes Samuel did a great job of modernizing the film, making this in such a way that is digestible for the black community specifically, because I believe he was targeting the black community
for sure.
Something that's digestible. Okay, so like he did a good play with the oppression and our like current predicament today, or what we perceive our current predicament is today. Talk about that. Did you enjoy that type of
I did, bro. It was.
And how true do you think that actually was?
And
people hate it wrong.
Here's the thing, man. Like when I read the Bible, you know, I am an American, so I see the Bible through an American lens. You know, I try to take it and like, you know, make it relate to something that I've experienced. So I think that, you know, they did a great job of like kind of making you think about like other vantage points, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about the day-to-day living, you know, in those times. Because they were people. I mean, when the overall theme of the Bible is about Jesus, is about the gospel. Amen. But at the same time, in that period of time, just like now with us, there was this whole dichotomy of like, there was a group of people who didn't believe in Jesus and who lived life sinfully, and who did things that we do today, to partook in drugs and stuff like that. They partied and you know, they had, you know, orgies and stuff like that. That stuff was going on in that time, and the Bible does speak about that. But just kind of seeing it from a cinematography free perspective, it just kind of was like, oh, like there was a need for Jesus in those times.
Amen.
There was a need for him.
Yeah, man. And that's crazy, man, because that's exactly what Samuel did by introducing. Like, that might not have been his intention, but that's what happened. There was a need for Jesus. There's a scene where like they're getting high at like this hookah lounge.
It was like a hookah house,
like a hookah house, right? But it's, you know, of course, the setting is different. It's cobblestone, whatever have you. And these people, he had them like floating.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. My initial response was clutch my pearls, but then as I'm watching, I was like, okay, but wait a minute though, like people today get high. Why do people get high? Like there's ministry in that. So do you not think that there were groups of people back in those times that they got high to take
marijuana wasn't discovered now. It's been around for years.
It's a herb, bro. Like,
it's a herb. It's been around for years. A lot of it was medicinal back then, like truly medicinal back then. Just in general, but there was a perversion of, you know, the earth, of course, and using these herbs and stuff like that for, you know, whatever gain you can get from it. You know, Jeymes Samuel did that unintentionally, showed the need for Christ by putting in this modernization of marijuana or these orgies and stuff, which is not modern. You know, orgies are not modern. You know? Drugs are not modern. You know, but he made it so that we can digest it.
Exactly.
Okay, good. So let's actually get into some of like the stuff that we might have disagreed with, because right now we just hyping this movie up. right. We going in like
everybody's like, man, these dudes, bro,
they love this movie. They
sacrilegious, bro. Supposed to be Christian.
They on Lecrae. That's what I start calling it now.
They on some Lecrae type.
Yeah, they on Lecrae stuff. Yeah. What were some of the issues you may have had with the Book of Clarence?
Okay, so originally when I saw the trailers, I thought that this was like going to be a story about. When I heard Jay-Z and, you know, when I saw everybody knows the whole, you know, perception of Jay-Z in terms of Christianity. he calls himself Hova. It's a lot of rumors about the, Illuminati or whatever, devil worship. Now, don't get it twisted. I will be not honest if I sat here and acted as if I didn't see some of those, proofs in what Jay-Z puts out.
You can go on that loophole, that rabbit hole down in YouTube and find all types of stuff.
You talking about the Dynasty edited album when I was young. That was me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I came up listening to Jay-Z, bro.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't get the Cousin album,
yes,
but
sir.
I could go to Walmart. Shout out to Walmart and Kmart back in the day, where you can go in there and get the edited album.
Yeah, they don't,
you know what I'm saying? My mama was she gave me a little bit of rope with that. So but initially just kind of with Jay-Z's whole persona now. I was like, man, it's gonna be like all type of Antichrist themes or whatever, and watching the movie, bro. I think, like we talked about that theme, it should have been more about Clarence's storyline and not so much about Jesus. Like, of course, it's a movie that took place in a period where Jesus was like walking the earth.
Yeah.
Doing his ministry.
Yeah.
If they would have made it more about this human individuals, like life experiences in that period. Yeah. And not so much as like comparing him to be like the Christ. I think there was a lot of themes in this movie that kind of like projected Jesus as this other figure and Clarence as kind of like the Messiah type figure.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like the movie itself is Clarence is the twin brother of Thomas. Which is an accurate thing. I don't know if his name was actually Clarence, but Thomas, the disciple, actually had a twin. They called him Didymus, which means twin in the Greek. And so
Diddy.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
because I'm a twin, so maybe. I don't want to be called Clarence.
Don't be called. Not right now. Not in this era.
I hear you.
Not Diddy.
Exactly. Not in this era. You funny, but yeah, Clarence is the twin of the disciple Thomas, and Clarence is watching from the outside as these 12 disciples are like an entourage. And Jesus, every time Jesus goes to a city, there's like an entourage and a fame that Jesus has, which is probably true in that time. Like Jesus became famous, right? Not in the sense that like there's paparazzi, how we would think famous and like debauchery, but in the sense of this righteousness, and people wanted to know what is it that is different about this man Jesus, right? But Clarence is looking at this and saying, man, I want what this guy has. So that's where it was a red flag for me, right? Because that's what Satan did, right? I want what God has.
Yeah. Not that I wanted salvation,
the glory that God has,
but I wanted the attention.
Yeah, exactly. And Clarence didn't want the salvation. He wasn't looking at Jesus and saying, man, he seems at peace. He seems righteous and holy. He was looking at
I'm broken.
The attention that people were giving him, and that's what he wanted. He wanted the worship that people were giving to Jesus.
Because Clarence was in his whole like existence in that movie. He was in a bind, bro.
He was in a bind, right? He owed a bookie some money, right? And he was also in love with the bookie's sister. See, like the actual story of Clarence was great.
It was, bro.
Freaking phenomenal.
It was relatable.
It was relatable. It was something that like, and you're right. If they would have just made it about Clarence and not about him trying to get this glory that Jesus also had, it had great potential just to be a great flat out movie for all the.
Because I'm gonna say this. Here's my problem with it. My problem with it is there's already a current in the culture today that wants to discredit the power, the validity, and the reality of the gospel. Yeah. There's already a culture, a subculture. Yeah. And so if you look at this movie beyond face value, you can see where the directors try to insinuate a lot of things.
And even if they don't do it intentionally, this is the risk you run by not having, maybe some Christian writers or Christians, folks, Bible, and they might be Christians, but people who are really spun up on the Bible and spun up on the culture. This is the risk you run. You know what I mean? Doing a movie like this when you're trying to show that people wanted Jesus's fame. And here's the thing, biblically, that's true. People did want Jesus's glory. There were other people who were claiming to be the Messiah around Jesus's time. The story itself is not a mockery of Christ, and that's what I want to get across to Christians. This story itself is not a mockery of Christ, right? And that's huge to know and going in to see this movie. We'll get to the recommendations later. It's misleading people.
There you go. I would say if it was a one guy's perspective versus another guy's perspective, we only got one perspective in this movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you could tell that perspective was coming from a place of like, I don't necessarily believe that the way to, the one road or the one way is Jesus Christ.
Right.
Like knowledge is greater than belief. It's pretty much what Clarence is. His message as this Messiah figure was, knowledge is greater than belief.
Right.
And it was repeated and repeated and repeated.
That was his message.
Over and over. So if I was a person that, I was on the fence, I could be like, well, dang, knowledge is greater than belief.
What was even more misleading is that his character arc was knowledge is belief, and then there's a moment in time where Clarence actually walks on water, and he is shocked himself, like, I'm just trying to play this role because, I need this money, to repay this bookie, but I'm in trouble with the Roman government. They asked me to walk on water, or they're going to crucify me. He walks on water, and they say, oh, now we really got to crucify you. Right. Now I was going to let you drown, but now we really got to crucify you walking on water, right? And so his character art was like, now he's starting to believe. You get what I'm saying? Believe in God, not Jesus. He started to believe in God or just a higher power.
Yeah, not Jesus.
Not Jesus.
And
right. And that's key too.
That's key.
Right. He started to say that was all, like, people asked him, how did you walk on water? That was all God. Specifically omitting it wasn't, Jesus
separating Jesus from God.
Exactly. Because there's a wave of, I believe in the universe. That whole wave that is today. And I think that's
Father God, Mother God.
Right. And I think that's what this story was leading to a little bit as well, without explicitly saying that. But there's a part where he gets crucified, which is okay, people, because people were getting crucified, not just Jesus.
There was more people there was thieves on the cross.
There were thieves on it, right? And I think I think there's some Christians who are going to watch this movie and be like, "Oh, you're making them like Jesus because you're getting crucified." Have you read your Bible?
Crucifixion was a form of punishment.
That was a legit form
invented by the Roman government.
That happened all the time. This wasn't. Whatever. Like, people walking, and I'm not saying Jesus' crucifixion wasn't special, obviously, because it saved us.
Absolutely.
It redeemed us to God the Father, right? But this occurrence happened all the time. Right. And so one
of the disciples was crucified.
Exactly. Upside down.
You
feel me? Like,
you feel me?
Yeah. Like, okay. So like,
let's take off the weight of the churchy, like,
right. Just look at it for what it is.
Look at it for what it is.
So like, he gets crucified, he dies, Jesus raised him from the dead, right? Jesus goes to the tomb of Clarence, raised him from the dead, and he says this is where I figured out what the movie was trying to get out. Come on. Jesus says, hey, you did, although you were bad, you did something good, and you came to believe. That's a red flag. Because our works don't save us. We don't come to belief because we did some good works. Right. We come to belief because people have preached, and it's like the good sower parable. People have preached, so there's some seeds being sowed, right? It's either going to land on good soil, bad soil, and that soil is just your receptiveness to the message, right? And people come to believe in Jesus through observing his works and tasting to see that the Lord is good, and then they realize, I'm a sinner and I need Jesus. Jesus, after he raised Clarence from the dead, didn't say, hey, like, you were bad, but then you trusted in me because you realized you were totally depraved, and now I'm going to raise you from the dead to give you a second chance of life. No, he said, you did some bad, but you also did some good, and that good was almost like overshadowing that bad, and so I'm giving you the second opportunity. Right, the red flag. Right.
Yeah, that's because the whole movie you will see Clarence living this, what we would say, pre-Christ life. Yeah, like we all did. Yeah, drinking, partaking, doing things, out of the marriage confined, lines that God, established. Right. Just living a regular sinner's life. Yep. Pre-Christ, and then he did
that one good thing.
He did this one great act
where he freed some slaves.
The prisoners. The slaves. And then that was the thing that qualified him to go to the good by and by, the sweet by and by. You know what I'm saying?
That qualified him to be raised from the dead. Raised from the dead. He freed some slaves.
There you go. It wasn't that he believed in Christ.
Yep.
That wasn't the focal point. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where we have issue with the with the Book of Clarence. Outside of that, and that doesn't mean you don't need to go see the Book of Clarence, because you watch other movies that are against Christ.
Oh my goodness. Every day. Raising Canaan.
You watch other movies that are against Christ.
I watch it. I watch
other movies that are against Christ, right? Right. There's not a lot of redemptive value in John Wick.
No.
There's not a lot of redemptive value in what else? What were we watching the other day? Me and my wife were watching Abbott Elementary. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's some good principles and stuff like that, but there's no like true redemptive value of Christianity, of Christ in that.
That ain't the intent of the writers and the directors.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. But I think because this is set in Jesus's period, they have a Jesus appearance, then it's even more blasphemy and mockery. But they did get some things wrong, and I think it had the potential. This movie had the potential to be very good.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. For me, Ty, it was a lot of the unspokens, bro. Remember I told you that in that sequence where Clarence was carrying the cross on the way to being crucified, and that the camera panned to the crowd. Yeah. A lot. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? There was this one pan where they panned to this group of black men that were dressed in these black and gold robes with these big hats and these staffs. And I was like, that's the black church, bro.
Yeah,
that's an unspoken shot at the black church, like in this moment of vulnerability for the main character, against this oppressive system of the Roman government, this white oppressive system versus these black folks, these good Judeans, Jerusalemites. Yeah, you have this power structure over here, the black church that's just kind of sitting to the side, watching, can't do nothing, but then at the same time, they didn't even have the personification that they wanted to do anything. Right. They kind of depicted them as looking kind of like judgmental, like and that could be an interpretation of like people's interpretation of church, bro. Yeah. Today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Let's break that down. Is that an accurate representation of the church?
I think in some ways it is.
Yeah. Yeah. In other ways, I want to be clear here, because I'm not going to put down the church at all.
Yeah, man, we members of the church, bro.
You would never hear members of the church put down the body of Christ. Absolutely. Right? But are there some things we could be doing better?
Absolutely.
Yes. And
yes, we can, bro.
But at the same time, the shot he was taking was like almost like this is what this church is, or this is what this group of people in this time are. That's their role in society. It's just to be judgmental and just to look down and not really intervene. And I think he was pointing that to like black church today. And let me tell you, folks, there are many churches that are stepping in and trying to fight oppression. Literal oppression. You get what I'm saying? That are going to town hall meetings, going to city council meetings, speaking on behalf of these kids in these schools when they do like dismissal processes and things like that. I've seen it with my own eyes as a police officer. Churches going to schools to advocate for students. So let me set the record straight. Although there are some things that we need to clean up as a church, and I'm talking to the church, there are some things people who are not believers that the church are doing. It just doesn't get the spotlight on it, right? And you're focus. Right, man. He was panning to the crowd, man. Dude, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah, bro.
He was panning out because I was watching. I'm like, man, it's a lot being interpreted. It's a lot being said here without any words from any characters. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And that just speaks to the cinematography, bro. Man, it's just that good.
It was, man. It really was, bro. That good. But just in theme of like, when you go see this movie, man, just understand this though. That this is one person's artistic expression of what they believe. How they see this thing, and that's why I would really like more African American Christian directors and producers to get involved in this platform, man.
Yeah. Let me mention this. Jeymes Samuel does a great job He did it well with Harder They Fall, of putting black faces and integrating them into predominantly white genre of cinemas.
Yeah.
So Harder They Fall is a Western movie. He put black folks, black cowboys in the space of owning businesses, actually being sheriffs, actually being kind of just the townspeople, just being in power in this Western culture. He does a good job of putting those black folks into that predominant white genre of cinema and making them authoritative in there. And he did the same thing here with this biblical era. This biblical time period. Like how many movies have we seen where black folks are the predominant characters and they're not looked up as slaves during this time, right? Or lesser than, but he put them in power, right? He put, as far as like the characters, they're in power. They have like a say in what they're doing. And this is what Jeymes Samuel did. He put, Jesus was black in this movie, right? We can have a whole discussion on that. It doesn't matter. I'm not making a claim here, right? That Jesus was black. Okay. What I'm just saying is that he's putting these black actors, these black people into this role where it's predominantly white, and he does a great job because there's representation, right? But also it makes it engaging, right? It makes it like, ooh and like this is not that it's the novel, but it's like, man, I can relate to this and I want to listen to it and more and more and more and more and more and more, right? And so like, I shout out to Jeymes Samuel for doing that, man, because I thought he did a phenomenal job.
For sure, man, for sure.
All right, Ken, here it comes. The moment we've been waiting for. Do we recommend this movie? Do you? I'm not gonna say we.
Yeah,
do you?
I would say definitely go see this movie. For me, I was a little apprehensive. I'm not gonna lie. It's not one of the movies that I was just really dying to see. But then I was like, man, let me go. Like, it'll be great if we're gonna do an episode on this movie. I definitely want to speak from a place of experience. You know what I'm saying?
Knowledge.
From knowledge, experiential knowledge, bro. And it's, dude, go see the movie, because what this movie did for me, and I can't guarantee it'll do the same for you. It made me think outside of my guidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like, me being a bit of a history, I ain't gonna say history buff, because that put a lot of, I like history. I'm a nosy person. I like to be like, man, what was it what was it like back in that period? Like, oh man, like they probably did do X, Y, and Z, so it lifted my perspective. I would say all that to say it gave me a new interest and peak in wanting to go read and find more out about Thomas and his brother. It made me want to find out about some of these themes in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So definitely it did good for me. Good. And I think if you're like open to and you're not afraid to have your Christianity or your belief system like challenged in a way, go see the movie.
It challenged you if you're not afraid for it to be challenged, because St. Thomas Aquinas once said, the mark of true intelligence, people, is to entertain an idea without being persuaded.
There you go.
To entertain an idea without being persuaded is the mark of intelligence. Okay. You should go see this movie. But that being said, you should go see this movie. Like we said, the cinematography is on point. The experience is great. Yeah. Especially if you're just into that type of stuff, how a movie actually works and how they set things up to convey a message. He does a phenomenal job, and I'm excited to see what else he does. If you're a new believer, I would say be cautionary. You know what you can take. Absolutely. Pray about it and ask the Lord to keep your faith strong and firm. But we believe in truth. We believe we have the truth. There's no reason for us to be afraid,
right,
or ashamed of entertaining these ideas, so that it can strengthen our faith in the Lord. And I think that's what this movie could do. It can help strengthen your faith in the Lord, because there's times where it's opposing your faith. Yeah. Right. When people oppose your faith to your face, are you just going to cower and just stay away from it? Or are you going to defend Christ? Right. Defend the faith that you believe, not necessarily defend Christ, but just defend the faith that you believe in. Right.
Be ready to give an answer.
Yeah. It just does
as to why you believe what you believe.
Thank you. Thank you. So 10 out of 10, I would recommend. I would definitely recommend that you see this this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Most definitely.
Man, that's all we have for y'all, bro. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hashtag it is written. Man, y'all have a good day.